any brave soul that would like to go first? And if so, just go and raise your hand or just holler at me and we can get started with that. And Patrick's ready. He is brave. Well, he's been up a few more hours than the rest of us. So
yeah, you're right. I've had more coffee than the rest of you. Yeah, yeah. And really looking forward to that, Bob, even though I'll be on the road and I'm going to tap in. But so
we'll record it for you.
Thank you, thank you. I wasn't here last week because of a whole lot of reasons, but I really missed you guys. But look at so you're talking about a kind of an elevator speech or how you'd introduce. Well, that would depend on the context, but generally this is what I say is people say, you know, what do you do? Well, I'm working with a team of global entrepreneurs who are on a mission to take a little known life-changing health technology. And our goal is to make it a global household name in the next 3 to 5 years. And this is opening up significant financial opportunity for the right person. Does that sound like something you'd like to know more about?
Okay. Now, I was going to ask Michelle to put those four things in the chat for us to kind of check them off as we go.
Yes. I jumped the gun. Michelle.
No. I was wondering if she was checking them off since she presented that. What a great tool.
Okay, they're in the chat now.
Look at
that. Those are for an information product. It is obviously a little bit different if it's something else, but those are the basic components.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, Patrick, it does depend on the context, but in this particular case, this is the best I can do.
Yeah. So did Pat, so I understand, you know, the product is in a new innovation in wellness. Understand that. Did he specifically solve a particular problem?
No,
so
I think the problem is that he was pitching to investors. So as opposed to an end user or someone who might buy from him, I think that's the difference.
Well, essentially, I was trying to create curiosity.
Yep.
And intrigue. And if you'd like to know more, you know, but you'd be asking, well, you see, I would ask people, look, really, I'm looking for people who believe that their health is their greatest wealth. And it's up to them to take full responsibility and to invest into it. So that's the category I'm in. But as Michelle said, you know, the context, and you get around to that. But my pitch there, the main pitch was more for business people, because they're more orientated to making change. Without entrepreneurs, we'll be all in a funny place, you know.
So Patrick, I'm just a little confused, because are you focused on people who are dealing with health challenges?
Yes. I'm looking for people who have a health challenge or know somebody who has a health challenge.
Okay, well, I think
again, you see, you know, you're speaking with somebody and they want to drink a water. You don't want to come at them with a fire hose. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to have a conversation, and where they are, but depends on where they are, you know.
Well, it you know, it's like anything. Not everybody's going to be our prospect or our clients.
Exactly.
And
we
have to
respect that.
Define who that is. And, you know, what comes to my mind is, are you looking for people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired? Right.
That's one category, yes.
So it's like, you got to identify that, because if I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I'm so tired of being sick, or I'm so tired of taking pills or whatever it is. And I think your pitch can really help people to connect to it by saying, something more defined around that, more specific.
Since the Affordable Care Act, since the Affordable Care Act and you know, Obamacare making access for wellness and healthcare more available, our costs have gone up 5 trillion with a T in medical spend, and every one of us know more sick people than we've ever known before.
Well,
Everybody is on the pill, right, Breck? Everybody is taking pills. It's crazy.
You all know I'm a type 1 diabetic for the last 48 years, right? 4 injections a day. Now, I was reading with interest that in America, the average cost was around $600 a month to service the patient with insulin and related needles and all that kind of stuff. But now I'm told, well, I read that it's now $35. So is that Obamacare, or was I misreading it, or, you know?
It's one therapy.
It's not Obamacare. What happened was, under the Biden administration and Congress, they passed a law that for those who are old enough to use Medicare, under the Medicare, the co-payment for the insulin cannot be any more than $35 per month for people.
One therapy for one insurance group. Everyone else is still spending $600 and something a month.
Thank you for clarification. Thank you.
The issue, what happened was they tried to force it upon every insurance company. It went to court, and in the process of through the court or Congress, whatever, it was limited to the government. The government has control over government funds, government insurance, Medicare and Medicaid. They don't have control over the private insurance market.
Yep. Okay, let's get back to the agenda here. So any other feedback for Patrick and taking those notes, maybe being more specific about the problem that you're solving, and back to I know Mike is only listening mode right now because he's driving to the airport. But the whole storytelling, every time you can incorporate a personal experience like you just did with us after the fact, you know, you've struggled with diabetes for 40 years. Well, what has this solution done, you know, for you? So incorporating those personal experiences, I think, is key too. So any other feedback for Patrick before we move on? Okay, excellent. Who's up next? Michelle, are you ready?
Sure, I'm always ready.
Okay.
I always feel like I'm stepping into an elevator, and that's the whole idea, right?
Exactly.
You ride up to the 40th floor, and you only have a couple seconds to pitch, and that's the whole idea.
Everyone close your elevator doors. Okay, yeah, we're ready.
So at Rabin Roberts Research, we help companies make better informed business decisions by using market research data to support those decisions. We help them minimize their risk and maximize their opportunities.
See, simple, right to the point.
Yeah.
Yep. What?
I will take feedback. I will take feedback.
Okay, so I understand exactly what you do, but is there a specific problem?
Nope.
Okay.
There isn't. It's any business or marketing problem or investment that anybody is making that needs support with data. So if you are making a large investment, a very large investment, millions of dollars, you don't want to go by the seat of your pants, right? You don't want to go by gut. You want data to support the decision, and that's what we do.
Right.
We develop the data.
Right.
Michelle, can you read your pitch one more time, please? After you've given us that information.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So you just gave us some really key information about what you do.
Yeah.
So I just want to see if your pitch ties into that.
Yeah. So we help companies make better informed business decisions using market research data, helping them minimize their risk and maximize their opportunities.
So my feedback would be,
I'll take it. Go ahead.
The risk piece earlier in the pitch, we help businesses lower the risk.
Lower risk.
Making bad decisions.
Yeah, which could be the problem, right?
Information.
Right.
Yeah, that covers her problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would. I like what Cindy just said with the risk, but what you just said about if you're going to be spending a lot of money, you want to make sure that you have the data to back it up, and you're not just having a gut, not just going from your gut. Something in there to tell them what it is that they're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna take a risk. I better know more about what I'm doing. Maybe one more sentence. Maybe one more sentence at the end of what you're saying, because you've got yours is a nice short pitch.
Yeah.
Short is good.
Yeah. What about expanding on the data, you know, saying something about factual or something that it's not just what people feel, right? You're not surveying, oh, I feel that'd be a great idea. No, you're actually substantiating it with actual, you know, facts.
Hard data, statistically significant, reliable data.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Excellent. Any other comments for Michelle? Okay, it was near perfect.
I don't have a comment as much as how long, when we talk about elevator pitch, how long are we talking about? Because I know the original one, I think, was with Ross Perot. It was multiple floors. I mean, how long are we talking about here? So give me an idea of what you have in mind.
I'm going to give you 30 floors. 30 floors.
30 floors, that's fine. Okay. I mean, I had to do one.
We don't have buildings that high. I don't know.
I had to do one on January 1st, which was 4 floors, but so.
That's short.
Well,
I've
been in Ross Perot's elevator, and it goes pretty fast. So that's not a lot of time, even when you're going all the way up to the penthouse suite where his office is.
No, I wasn't promoting my product when I had to do that elevator pitch. But anyway, all right, I'll wait to hear others. Thank you. So I can formulate my own.
Yep. Who else? Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Great.
Sure. What I use, and I think in terms of standing up in a in a meeting or something like that, and they're asking you to go to do something. What I typically say is, hi, I'm CEO of Inset Advisors. My company gives money to businesses and business owners by helping them identify the government credits and incentives and tax strategies that they may not know exist in their businesses.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Very clear.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. And is that a perceived problem?
Yeah, I haven't had anybody say that it wasn't a problem yet.
Right. I was going to say that's just
I'm going to pay $500 to the government. That's too much.
Yeah, it's just a given, right? You don't even have to state
exactly,
you are paying too much in taxes. That's just a given.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Any feedback? He's got that down.
Very good. Very good.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I guess
you guys.
I guess you're perfect, but we need your perfect. We need your perfect help for everyone else's. So stick around. So, all right. Who wants to go next? All right, Phil.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Phil Singleton with Pacific Advisors. I'm a wealth accumulation and wealth distribution specialist. Have you heard that ignorance costs you money? Well, I teach people how to develop wealth accumulation and wealth distribution strategies. Typically, my clients enjoy about 50% more wealth by utilizing our specific design systems. Phil Singleton with Pacific Advisors.
Excellent. Feedback for Phil?
Could you put that 50% up front, or say, we can, with my company and the systems of my company, we can double your retention, double your capital retention, something like that. Something that says something up front that just catch their.
The only reason I put it at the end because on the components 1, 2, 3, 4, that was the key benefit for us.
Yeah, I like it up front. You gotta get their attention somehow. Otherwise they're looking back at their phone.
Yeah.
Also doubling would be 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We can double your, instead of having 50% more, it's double. Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, the only thing I have to be vague on that, because if I say we're going to give you 50% every time, I'd go to jail.
Yeah,
I was going to say you'd have a visit from
your
the
securities
SEC.
license. You can't make a claim that's not
right.
Phil, did you say,
guaranteeable.
what did you say about your clients exactly getting 50% more wealth? What was the
They
exact?
could accumulate 50%
They
more
could,
wealth than
okay,
people who do
okay.
not use our systems.
Okay.
So,
Can you say anything more about your system?
excuse me.
Could I say more about it? Absolutely.
in your
but
pitch,
I will
in your
schedule an
pitch.
appointment. No. If you want to learn more, you
To
need
find
schedule some
out
time
more.
and we can get together.
In your pitch, could you say anything? This is my feedback. Is there anything more you could say about your system?
Well, not without getting to a deep conversation.
Okay.
So when I meet someone, the whole part that I think is to get an appointment. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
All I want to do is schedule an appointment, then we have
Right.
time to talk.
And
Yeah.
are they proprietary systems?
Yes, they are.
You might want to say that.
That would be a good word to put in there.
Yeah,
Our
'cause-
proprietary system.
Right.
That would
Proprietary,
be good.
unique, something like
Yeah.
With
that.
utilizing our proprietary design systems, that would be good.
Yeah.
Put that in there.
Not everyone's doing what you're doing. That's the differentiator.
So my feedback, Phil, would be consider dumbing down the terminology you're using. So instead of wealth accumulated, say maybe you could be richer than, so there's a bank in Canada, their slogan is you're richer than you think. Right? Like, to me, that's a fantastic line because their goal is to help people save more money. So something like, instead of wealth accumulation, say, use the word richer, so people might resonate to that more.
You want to be rich.
I want to be rich.
I can make you rich.
You need to talk to me right now.
That was my favorite chain of tax preparation services in Memphis. Mo Money tax preparation.
You want Mo? We'll give you some Mo.
Yep, it was spelled M-O Money.
Awesome.
I can't get that through compliance. But
Yeah.
And if you're changing your pitch, it's going to take 5 months to get it approved. So maybe stay where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
well, this is verbal, so it's when I say verbally is a lot different than if I wrote it down and put it out somewhere.
This is being
Like
recorded,
on LinkedIn,
Phil.
I would get dinged.
Well, by the way, instead of using the word rich, you might use the word wealthier. And since, going back to Cindy's suggestion of dumbing it down, you might want to use the word wealthier because everyone has their own definition of rich, whereas wealthier may not put you in as much of a box.
Yep. I think it's pretty good. And just that proprietary solution is key. Think about your audience because feels mainly going to be in front of people who are involved in wealth accumulation and get the concept. But obviously,
I'm going to use this at a networking event at 11:30. So we'll
then
we'll see how this works.
Then you may want to simplify a couple of things there that make it resonate with everybody in there because you don't know what your audience is in just a networking event.
By the way, Michelle, he used the word could, which is what protects him from getting in trouble.
Yeah. All right. Who would like to go next? All right, Cindy.
All right. My name is Cindy Gordon, and I am a health insurance agent. I help individuals, families, and small businesses find health coverage that fits their needs, provides value, and helps to keep as much of their hard-earned dollars in their pocket. On average, we're lowering premiums by about 25% while helping people become informed consumers for their healthcare services.
Okay. 1, 2,
I like
3,
that.
4. Yeah.
Very, very clean.
Mm-hmm.
Covered excellent. And is there so sometimes people have specific licenses that box them in. Do you have to state what states that you are licensed in, or
I can offer coverage to anybody in any state.
Yeah, so that'd be the only suggestion is that you're, because people that know about the health insurance or any kind of, even in Phil's, his with financial advisement, there's certain licenses that are required for certain states. So can you operate in all 50 states?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's necessary to say I'm an insurance agent up front for state sentence? Because because your second sentence to me is the sentence, is the grabber.
Yeah.
Is it necessary?
Nope.
You could
think
even
so.
just say that you're a benefits professional or
Like something like that, because I know in some of your products, Cindy, you don't have to be an agent. You can't. It doesn't matter if you're an agent or not, because
Right.
it's non-insurance products. So really, I personally I like that benefits professional. If you want to say something like that, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Benefit professional might be too broad.
It's too
broad.
I was gonna say it's too broad, and I'll explain why in all due respect, because I listen to you regularly, Mr. Terrell. And the reason I said is because she's focusing on health insurance. If she were focusing on a broader clientele, much like Mr. Singleton did a moment ago, that'll be a different story. But because she's focusing on health, she needs to start off with, in fact, I actually would say instead of insurance, I would start saying health insurance. Since health is what you're focusing on, I would start off with that right away.
For health benefits. Mm-hmm.
Health benefits, agent health insurance, whatever, but I would include health as part of it so that that's the key word, the key phrase on the health insurance, because that's what you want people to think about now is health insurance. And by saying what you do, they now are focused on health insurance for themselves.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other feedback for Cindy? All right, excellent. Who's up? All right,
I'd be happy to
Tom.
go if no one wants to go before me. Okay.
No, go for it.
All right, thanks. So I am pitching a solution. I'm going to do this in about 30 seconds. Market researchers need organic qualitative data on their target audiences and social media integrated into their primary research to help organizations make better decisions more confidently. The challenge is they don't have the time to find the audiences by pouring through thousands of social media mentions. They need enough mentions to be statistically representative, and they lack qualitative research experience to make sense of the insights. That's where the social media ethnography comes in. It captures unfiltered behavioral and attitudinal conversations from statistically representative target audiences in social media on any topic. It's delivered in an interactive dashboard visualizing a holistic story, and its transparency allows for exploratory questions to be answered.
Wow. Feedback. I'm just glad, Tom, that you and Michelle are presenting in a couple of weeks, so I can actually really understand, because that a lot of that went right over my head.
Right.
think
The
that's the
follow-up to this is in
problem.
2 weeks in case you have any further questions, right?
Yeah, two weeks he's presenting. We'll get into the meats and the bones of what he just said.
But for the sake
I
of
don't think
discussion,
he couldn't deliver it in 30 floors. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
too,
true.
Yeah.
so for the sake of what we're trying to do here, we're talking about a powerful introduction, right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Give it the KISS philosophy, because if you make it too complicated, you're going to go over people's heads, and you're going to lose them. So you might want to think about dumbing it down. I guess it's probably a good
Okay.
script.
Yep.
Yep. Patrick.
This is really good. We're all giving information, and when you give information, we expect and we hope for a result. Now, the danger is that we could become emotionally attached to the decision the person would make, but it's not our decision. We have to, as I said earlier, to put into context where these people are. Do they have a health challenge, or are they looking for an opportunity? And, we have to meet them where they are. and the dignity of where they are. And I think that's most important. And you can't necessarily do this in 7 floors or 40 floors. I think there's a crazy thing there. I must get this message across, you know, in 40 floors or whatever. That's just me. Sorry. That's yeah.
Well, it's just an introduction, right? So you just want
Yeah,
to
yeah, an
kind of-
introduction. And you get a sense of where you are. You see, I don't know if AI will be able to do this, you know. I wish Mike was here, and because it doesn't have this. It hasn't studied the humanities as yet, you know, and you know, the context.
Hey, Tom, I have a really good idea based on what Patrick just said.
Yeah.
If you took what you just read and dropped it into AI or ChatGPT, whatever the, you know, and you said, take this information and create an elevator pitch. I wonder.
And give those four things that you talked about.
According to this framework.
Yeah.
What would you get? Yeah. I think that might be interesting.
Sure. I used ChatGPT 4.0. I finally got off the waiting list. So that'll be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can just keep hitting revise until.
I know. It's the best A/B tester you could possibly have until it finally actually says, you know what, it doesn't get any better. You've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tom,
that's awesome.
Tom, if you get a new and improved elevator pitch before the presentation, maybe you could share it with us then.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
You know, he'll have one before we're done today if he plugs it in right now. So
I will actually do that.
Yep, exactly. That's awesome.
My feedback, Tom, is it's all coming from your head.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit from your heart,
mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Man, I'm trying to incorporate everything that everyone said so far, and I can't do it all. It's all good information. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, I think, but.
It's not going to be an elevator ride, Rick. It's going to be a 10-mile walk with somebody.
You know, come golfing with me. We have 4 hours to discuss this. Armand, Cheryl?
Consideration, right? There's another consideration. You know, when you share information and people get it intellectually, but they do nothing about it necessarily until it moves to their heart.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting out of here. So I get on my laptop and I said, I'm going to the Canary Islands and I'm getting some sunshine because I can't stand the weather here and this kind of thing. Now it has moved to your heart. Now you've taken action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So intellectually, we're full of it, you know, but are we taking action? I saw a guy today, he was very overweight and he's eating a bag of crisps and a bottle of Coke. And I'm saying to myself, isn't that interesting? do you know, now this guy is a PhD and he, you know, so he's out of balance. He's clearly out of balance, but there you go.
Yeah. He's the perfect person for Armand to work with.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And well, Armand is available. That's the good thing.
But to do that, he still has to recognize he has a problem. So a lot of people don't recognize it's a problem.
Yeah.
So I could just end up throwing up on the guy about what he needs to do, but it won't sink.
Yeah. No, they've got to want to change first, right?
Yeah.
That's.
And we're not convinced by logic, you see. But however, when we have an emotional experience like a heart attack, and we're lying in bed, and there's beat, beat, beat going on around us, everything changes. Now we've had an emotional experience.
One of the things I would say that you don't want to do, like in that situation, is it's not good to lower people's status. So you've got to have an approach to where you can get the message across, but at the same time, you know, hey, you're an idiot, don't do that, and here's why. I mean, you have to have a more palatable message to not lower the status. Because people, if you lower somebody's status, they're shutting down, they're out of there. I mean, and I've seen that happen we see it happen with religion as well. People start helping other people understand religion, and then it just totally goes south.
Yeah.
So are you suggesting Diet Coke instead of regular Coke?
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so is it going to be is the big differentiator going to be Diet Coke? No, it still stimulates, it still stimulates insulin.
Insulin,
But
yeah.
people don't know that. And then people want to argue, oh, no, it doesn't because of this and that. So it's always an interesting thing on how people interpret what you're
Right.
trying to do. So
Patrick, was his PhD in physiology by chance? No, I'm just kidding. All right. So next.
No, Armin is right there. You see, people are not convinced. You see, if you say to some people today is Thursday, they say be reasonable.
No, no, in all seriousness, I think the problem is that we've been conditioned to believe that something is diet and it's 0 calories. It doesn't have an effect on you.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I have this,
mean,
I have this
that's-
back and forth. I have this back and forth
that's
with
the
my
beautiful
wife.
message. Who wants to argue with that? But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, there's more to
No,
it.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying I had this with
Yeah.
my wife. This goes back years ago when she just, something was low in fat. That doesn't mean it's low in calories. And it's that kind of
marketing. Yeah.
it was
but
that
that's
kind of
also
back and
another
forth that
point.
we've had many of the discussions. So-
See, that's another point. You could say low in fat, but then you're talking calories. And a calorie is not a calorie. But the food companies and everybody else wants you to think that. There's a big difference. But that's another argument.
Yep. All right. Just got notice that that my next meeting is starting in 10 minutes. We still have to hear from a couple of people if they want. It's not necessary, but haven't heard yet from Armand. Moshe, we haven't heard yours. And then Cheryl, are you ready? Cheryl?
Yep.
All
Yes,
right.
I am. And this is all new. Anyway,
Oh, awesome.
are you leaving money on the table? Are you aware that you can put money into an account that you can borrow from or even create lifetime income? We helped a family just in time. Daddy passed just after we put his plan in place. We only have today. Are you prepared? Book a time with me to talk about what you want your finances to look like when you walk off the planet.
Wow, really pulling at the heartstrings there. Wow.
So there's more heart than thought there.
No, that's great. I love it. Sometimes that's what it takes, right? It's a rude awakening sometimes.
I have a question for the group. How do you guys feel about starting with a question like that, like Cheryl did? I thought it like, oh, I listened, so I'm wondering if that's something I should incorporate in mine.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I think the psychology of it is exactly what you said, right? It makes you listen. What I'm getting tested here. It's a question. I better pay attention.
I think it depends on what different people do. In the case of what you do, Michelle, it definitely plays a role because of all the research and so forth you do for companies. Going back to what Tom said as well, because of that, I think it does make a difference because if they want to put money into something without knowing what the results are going to be or what their market's going to be, hope and prayer. That's one, and that's how I say, do you live by hope and prayer?
Yeah.
If you do your business decision based on hope and prayer, if that's not the case, no, I know. I mean that would be my 2 cents, which is probably all it's worth at most.
So Cheryl,
I think Michelle has a great question there because when you meet somebody so briefly and you say to them, how are you doing, what's going well for you? And then you don't know what's going to come out, but it can be usually, I'm feeling this, or I'm wrecked, or I just lost my house, or, I'm not well, or whatever. Right, tell me more, That's a good question.
You just want to make sure you don't open a can of worms when you ask the question, though.
Yeah, you're right. Good on you.
But I think Cheryl's just putting these questions as a thought-provoking way, not as, okay, you're going to start answering, which was what I like. But I think, Cheryl, my feedback would be, you touch on a story and you very briefly gave us feedback on the great outcome. So maybe talk about just a little bit the peace of mind that people had because they had a plan in place, or some, again, outcome, a little more meat on the outcome, how they felt, or the solution that not the solution, but the the problem that was eradicated because he passed away and they had your process in place or whatever it is.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
to, she didn't have to work and they got to go on the trip they were planning, but.
Yeah, awesome.
Go.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Good. Any other feedback for Cheryl? Okay.
By the way, one of the other, I'm sorry, I was muted. One of the other things I would also try to fill in, maybe not at the same time. I think you need to have different questions for for your audience because it's niche. But I would also start to ask certain people, especially those who maybe more religious or more involved in other causes. What do you want your legacy to be? And use that as a way to help them because they may want to set up a fund in the name of something in their name for continuous income to go into a certain charity. I was working with someone on that in my area as part of the benefit of a reverse mortgage as it relates to different events at the synagogue that they may want to sponsor long after they left this world in their memory or in the memory of somebody else in the family who may have died prior to their being prior to them, sort of thing. So that may be another pitch you could use. I don't want to say that instead of, but something else to consider.
Thank you. Yep, good idea.
Armand or Moshe, did you want to share your pitch?
I can go if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a certified longevity. Well, so depending on how I enter, but basically, if somebody's asking, well, what do you do? I'm going to say, well, I really help to guide individuals to understand enduring well-being and also how to get the desired physique of their choice by cultivating basically a holistic approach that is going to encompass proper mindset, nutrition, supplementation, exercise, recovery, and hormone optimization for sustained results. So with that being said, my mission is really to assist people who are facing different challenges in comprehending the most effective strategies for actually reducing body fat, enhancing their energy levels, restoring increasing muscle tone, and also boost their confidence by getting these things corrected. And this helps, again, mitigate the effects of aging. So I'm really driven to assist different individuals, that face these obstacles by doing a personalized, customized strategy to enhance these different areas. But this is all aimed and fostered by other medical groups that also support the mission that I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
It's in your case, all I could think of was that Saturday Night Live routines. Better, I forgot who it was. Not Fernando Lamas. I forgot his name. It was better to look good than to feel good. That's
Yeah.
Fernando Lamas, yes.
Yeah, what's important,
both, though.
Right? Yeah,
You don't necessarily have to have both, but
for me, Armand, I think sharing your, personal, not only your accomplishments or your certifications might be helpful because there's so many people that want to be, health coaches that don't have the background and experience that you have. So somehow I know you might think it's, self-promoting, but you need to talk about, your certifications or even being on the pro circuit yourself. I mean, to me, there's just so many healthcare providers out there that would make the difference to me is that you actually know what you're talking about.
Well, and that being said, typically if you're meeting me in person, it kind of comes with the package. Okay, so because I have people approach me, and this is why I have to end up because they're like, what do you do? So I get that on a regular. I just picked up a client at an event I was at because he was like, what do you do? And then I started explaining it. So, but yeah, I get you. I mean, now I go into that, but sometimes people kind of throw that to the side because a lot of people have certifications. They don't mean a lot, but I get that. I mean, so, but yeah, if I need to, I'll say, well, I am a pro bodybuilder, but some people don't really care for that either in the sense that, well, okay, good for you, but so I generally bounce around the, accreditation thing as needed.
Okay, good. Other feedback for Armand?
Very good, very good.
Yeah, I would cut it down, Armand.
I agree. But again, this is really not an elevator pitch. It's what I normally do in a networking group. So yeah, it needs to be tightened up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And something to grab their attention up front.
Right.
Yeah.
Moshe,
Are you
did you?
feel, do you feel as good as you want to feel? You know, I mean, something that that would tie to their well-being. You know, something. You know, are you having a hard time keeping your New Year's resolution? Or I don't know that I don't like that one.
Yeah.
But
What-
you know.
What about when's the last time you stripped down naked in front of a mirror and smiled?
When I was
You really
22.
don't want to answer that, do you?
Oh, brilliant. Hey,
Well,
Brett,
smiled or
just-
laughed?
Yeah, just one consideration. What do? You could say, well, I help people to be the last person standing in the pension scheme. Now that's
Yeah.
a definite opener.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we literally only have 30 seconds now, Moshe, if you wanna go.
I'll tell you what, let's save it for next time. I'll do the feedback so that way I can
Okay.
get the critique I need. But thank you
In
very much.
the
for
in
all.
the chat, please save the chat. There's an opportunity for you to practice your pitch on Tuesday. So Tuesdays at noon Pacific time. Noon Pacific time. This is an event that Mike Hayes has launched. It's a speed networking for 1/2 hour, and then we go right into a Well Wave Now meeting. So please join us on Tuesdays if you're available. Save the chat. And yeah, we'll continue on with this and other discussions next week. We have HR payroll benefits expert with Insperity that's going to be joining us, Dan. So look forward to next week.
May I just thank
Thanks,
Michelle
everyone.
for putting up the 4 keys to make it easier to figure out what to do for a sales pitch today. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, good job, everyone. See you next
Take
week.
care.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye now.
Thank you.